Hey guys, welcome to the Jinhua channel. My name is Adam. I'm 27 years old. I come from the UK and I have been living in China for most of my adult life. So back in 2012, when I was 19 years old, I packed my bags and I came to China for what I thought was going to be a 1-month holiday. And that 1-month holiday quickly turned into 8 years of me being here. But when I decided where I wanted to go, I didn't choose Beijing, I didn't choose Shanghai, I didn't choose Hong Kong, which were the 3 cities that I knew about in China at the time. Instead, I chose a very small city located central Zhejiang Province, south of Shanghai, called Jinhua. Don't get me wrong, I mean, big cities are really great. You know, there's convenience, entertainment, lots of things to do, lots of things to see, which you might not think smaller cities in China have. But I'm here to tell you today that smaller cities are just as good and if not even better than bigger cities in China. And today we're looking at 5 good things about living in a small place in China. So as you can see, I'm still in my pajamas. I'll switch them and let's go have a look at Jinhua City. Let's go! So I'm outside in beautiful Jinhua. It's great, gorgeous sunny weather, which kind of brings me to my next point. So if I open up a map app on my phone, I can see that Jinhua is about 8 kilometers from the north, where Pointy Peak Mountain is, down to the south, where the stadium is. So the first advantage of living in a small area is you can reach all of these places with just this. The magical e-bike. Now this little orange e-bike may not look like a lot, but it's cool, it's fast, and actually it's completely inexpensive. Even though the second-hand car market isn't as apparent as it is in other countries, the second-hand e-bike market is absolutely everywhere. So it means that if you're on a budget, you could easily pick up a second-hand e-bike for as low as $140. But if you wanted to go all out and buy a brand new one, it'd probably be about $420. But the one thing you need to remember when you ride these is that you always need to wear a helmet like mine. Let's check it out. Let's go! So even though laws regarding e-bikes in the past have been lacking at best, in recent history the Chinese government has made a big push to kind of implement more rules about them. So it's not as easy as it was once to get one. But with that being said, it's definitely less of an investment than getting a motorbike or a car. And to be honest, on a day like this, it's a really nice way of getting around.
One hour later.
Yeah, it's nice to ride around on one of these, but when you've been sat on one for an hour, like I have, your ass starts to hurt a bit, as mine is doing now. I think what I'll do is I'll take a pit stop up ahead and we'll get down to the second point on the list. And here we are. The second point on the list is all the nice quiet places you can visit. And to prove my point, I've come to Zhejiang, which was the ancient city centre of Jinhua, long before it ever went by such a name. I think this is probably one of my favourite places to go for a walk. This is 100% what I thought all of China was like before I came here, with like the old style buildings, the really narrow roads, all made of stone and wood. 100% what I thought it was going to be like when I moved here. I really like how this area has kind of been dedicated to the arts of ancient China. So you have all these shops and they sell things like traditional Chinese food, calligraphy items, you know, ancient Chinese musical instruments, all sorts like that. And it's like this whole street has just been dedicated to that, and I really like it.
That's one small step in action, a big step in civilization.
Did you guys ever have a small version of these when you were kids? And you just like, no! Stick your face into it. Because that's what I'm going to do with this one. Let's go. Take my glasses off. Let's give it a go. Here we go. Just as I was walking down the road here, I saw this huge calligraphy brush. Let's check it out. This is the type of result I was hoping for when I was writing those characters, and let's just say it didn't turn out as well. Alright, okay, that's enough sightseeing. Let's check out the third point on the list. Alright, the third point on the list isn't a particular favourite of mine, but it is important, and it's about salary. So as a foreign worker in China, you'll probably have a lot of money coming into your bank account every month. And that money can go a long way, especially if you're in a small city. Which brings us to our third point, the low cost of living. Alright, you've come to China, you've chosen your favourite English training school to teach at, which probably goes by the name of something weird like the magical giraffe, or the happy squirrel, or the anti-Semitic rhinoceros, I don't know. But let's say they've given you a conservative salary of 16,000 renminbi every month. So of course, we want to take out the essentials and figure out what we're left with, right? Supermarket shopping, eating at a restaurant, travel to and from work, rent, utilities. Which will leave you with this. And you can kind of see what you're able to buy with a month's salary. 老板，这多少钱？3块5。Oh, that's cheap.
That's cheap.
Milk, cheap. E-bikes, cheap. Dining out, relatively cheap. Hats, very cheap. Public transport, extremely cheap. What, you think this pepper's expensive? Wrong, it's cheap. Eating at home, cheap. I love this show. So, back in 2012, when I was 19 years old, I packed my bags and I came to China for what I thought was going to be
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Buying stuff in China is cheap, but when it comes to luxury items, and especially when you're here on holiday, it's so easy to fall into that trap of, oh, this thing is only 300 renminbi, that's £30, so cheap I'm going to buy it, when in actuality you can get it for a lot cheaper. So I've come to Wanda Plaza, and we're going to be taking the prices we find here and comparing them with Taobao, which is the most popular online shopping platform. Let's do it. Yo! First thing you notice when you come in is how nice it smells and how there's like atmospheric music going on, which you just can't get at home if you're shopping online. Unless you can. English is something that's seen as really cool and fashionable here, so what they do for shops is they come up with an English name, and a lot of the times they're really funny. Look at this weird Chinese brand, Kufka. Look at that one, what's that? McDonald's, Skechers, Calvin Klein jeans. They better be clean. Levis. What is Levis? New Balance. Alright, let's start checking out some shops and see what products we can find and how they compare to the online price. Here we go, some little Pokemon stuff. Let's have a look. Little Pokemon Lego. 49 renminbi. Whirlpool boiler, 2,880 renminbi. Let's have a look, and that is 629. I don't dare comment on what that is, but I think we all know what that is. And all of these different iPhones, the most expensive is 8,000 renminbi. Big screen TV, 9,000 renminbi. I know it's true that regardless of what country you're in, online shopping is usually cheaper, but just keep it in mind, if you're making a salary here, you've got to convert it so it makes sense. Don't go off what your home currency is, because you'll think everything is cheap. Alright, let's check out the next point. Well, we're almost at the end of the list, and the last 2 points we'll be talking about together. They're my 2 favourite things about being in a small city, and they are the lack of a comfort zone and all of the opportunities you'll get. Imagine flying halfway across the world to come to a country with a cultural background so vastly different to the one you grew up in. You live here for a couple of years, and when you step foot onto that plane to go back home, you think, maybe I didn't experience or do as much as I thought I was going to do. Maybe it was that local custom that you really wanted to understand more, but you just never did. Maybe you never really learned the language as well as you thought you were going to do. It's true, Maybe smaller cities don't have a lot when it comes to entertainment, but maybe what they do have is exactly what you wanted when you decided to live abroad. There were many times when I first moved here where I really wanted to find somebody who could speak English and just chat to them for half an hour and forget about Chinese for a while, but I couldn't. And once that language barrier came down, you suddenly realise how nice everybody is. Even while I've been filming this short video, so many people have stopped and talked to me. In my glasses you can see a young boy and his dad sat on an e-bike waiting for me to finish so they can ask me where I'm from and what am I doing and how do I like China. Not only was the boss of that shop nice enough to let me record, but as soon as we'd finished, the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "How's your family doing during these tough times of the coronavirus?"
在现在你们那边疫情怎么样？现在？
I'll be the first to admit that my writing in that shop was pretty awful. But the woman who was writing with me just kept complimenting me and saying how amazing I was, even though I was doing something quite simple.
你好厉害啊！
我这个笔顺都错了。
你真棒。
The point is, I never would have met these people if I didn't step out of my comfort zone. I don't know if it's true, but I definitely feel like the smaller the city, the more opportunities you get. I've done things here in Jinhua that I don't think I could have done in a bigger city. Hosted people's weddings, been a model for my university, interpreted at so many different events. I even had my own web series, and I even hosted the news a couple of times. I just don't think that happens in larger places. That's what I like about small cities. The opportunities you're given may not be something you excel at, but try everything once, and if you're good at it, great, and if you're not, that's also okay. Thinking back to a time before I came to China, I don't know why I chose this city, but I'm really glad I did. And if somebody was to ask me, where would you live in China? I'd say choose a place like Jinhua. Thanks so much to Jinhua Daily for letting me use that last video. Big shout out to my friend of 16 years, Ben Gladwin, for coming up with 100% of the background music in this video. All of his information is coming up now. Not only did he come up with all that music, but he also came up with the Jinhuanese sting that you see throughout the video. Check out his YouTube, check out his Instagram, he's got lots of cool content on there. I don't know if I'm going to make any more of these videos because that was quite laborious, but if I do, feel free to contact me at my email jinhuanese93@gmail.com. If I don't make any more, it was nice seeing you this time. See you guys.